forever, right? So you will remain students forever. I do agree to that. I completely agree to that statement. So more than anything else, I'm going to try and share a little about what we could do and what could be done. I had about 10 slides prepared or whatever, but I don't think that's the criteria. 15 minutes is what I was given. I've already consumed 1.5 minutes, so I've got another about 13 and a half minutes to go. Okay. Uh, I said thanks to all. I'm gonna take some slides also. I'm going to present myself over here. I'm going to take over the window here. Bernard, is that all
Yeah,
right
yeah.
with you?
Please, Satya, go ahead.
Yeah. Uh, Maybe about 4 5 slides is what I will use, I think.
Yeah, you can take over now.
I can.
Yep.
Just a second. You should be all able to see a slide. Can you all see it?
Satya, we are able to see your video, not your screen. Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no,
This is briefly. This has been
no,
already.
no. Still, it's not come.
You haven't got the slide still.
Yeah, yeah,
You got the slide. Can
Yes.
everyone see the
yeah.
slides?
We
Okay.
got it. We got it. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So that's briefly me. I'm not going to get beyond that. These are some of the subjects or areas of interest. So qualified, yes. I'm an electronics and comms engineer, and then did my MBA also in telecom. I've done also my PGDBM in marketing. Of course, besides my career, which is worthwhile career, for the last about 4 years, I've been trying to share whatever I have learned in my work life, in my so-called organizations which I served, in the businesses which I had kind of managed, and share it with the younger generation, and that's what I've been doing. Uh, the reason I said, I say I appreciate everyone taking time and having come over here. I think this is reality. This information is from the World Trade Organization. This information is as of June, which is the current year, and everyone talks about it and where we are and what's going to happen. All are concerned, right? I mean, in particularly the students. What are we going to do? Should I do this course? Should I continue this course? Should I not continue the course? Should I attend the classes? Will online classes help me? Where will I get my job? Will I get my placement? What's going to happen? Everyone has the same questions, my dear friends. That's the first thing I'll say. And specific to logistics, if you can see, I'm not going to read out everything what is there in this slide. It's a challenging time. Costs are going to go high. Goods in transit. I mean, most of the goods are not reaching you. I'm sure you have come across, students or people who are moved from one place to other place. A few friends of mine who had shifted, relocated. It's a huge challenge. Cargo space is just not available in any airline. I'm not going to get into detail. The V-shaped, U-shaped, L-shaped. This all economics will talk about how quickly we're going to recover. We don't know 12 months. We don't know 24 months. We don't know. Yeah. Before I could, thanks for muting. We will talk of this aspect of show. It's been about currently the change agents are the things which are influencing us are three. I think this was specified even in the beginning by the gentleman, which talks about for industry 4.0. There's a lot of automation happening, including this industry too. Forget the industry. Have you ever thought of, probably the only reason why we ever took a phone was to send a mail, maybe an SMS, maybe a thing. Now we are practically students, children trying to learn or learning or sharing everything on a tool, which is an online platform. Fourth standard matters. I mean, young kids are trying to do that. How much of it they are able to, they are not able to is a different question. Everything is getting automated. Practically now what we are seeing or even now what is happening is again automated over a platform which is called Google. So Industry 4.0 talks about that. And the next aspect was with reference to security. We'll talk about it slowly. I'm not going to, but these are all the agents which are changing. These are the ones which is going to make us also change. Institutes change, educationists change, economists change, learners change, people who share knowledge change. Everyone has to change. The second aspect is data. Tremendous amount of data. You like it, we don't like it, we don't even know, but there's plenty of data available. And there's a lot of, should I say, talks revolving around aspects like artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, virtual reality. I mean, what we are doing now is also virtual, right? This should have been a live program. This should have been a program probably conducted in one of the auditoriums or classrooms, probably. So, virtuality is the name of it. Can't help it. Whether this virus is going to come and go away, yes, even if it goes away tomorrow, in one way or the other, our ways of doing things and our ways of living is surely going to change. And learning need not be probably in situ. Maybe we don't have to all the time spend 4 hours traveling to go and assemble together in a place to learn. No wonder you have a lot of online platforms also helping you. I mean, they are to complement, they're not going to replace, but they are going to be complementing each other. And one such complementation is what we are talking about here, wherein this institute is trying to work with skill development program initiators like the one we are talking about. Thanks, Bernard, for such initiatives. The third one, as you said, changing economics. Pandemics and biowar. I mean, I used the word and took the liberty to say the biowar. That's the World War One, World War Two brought in a lot of changes. Now it's biowar, starting with this pandemic. This is going to change. This is not going to, like, someone talked about the new normal. No, we are not going to be like, we don't even know what normal is. They're going to define something new. And one such aspect is probably this, and this happens in logistics too. When we talked about Industry 4, yes, we started with steam. Then now we have moved on to mass production. Then we moved on to kind of robotics and automation a little. But now we have gone into wherein completely robotic automations and cybersecurity systems and physical systems is what we call it as Industry 4. I'm not here to throw away some jargons over there and leave you all. The idea is when it comes into, not necessarily I have to brief all the slides, I'm sure you can see it for all. Every industry is going to be affected by all this, what you see in this slide probably. Be it IoT, be it analytics, be it cognitive computing, be it RFID. RFID kids are expected to be now sent to school, and if there's one means of security, you ensure that the children are safe, the school bus is safe, they're traveling with the right people, there is no intrusion. RFID. You're talking about a good which is being moved from one part of the world to another part of the world. You want to track and trace, you want to know where it is. RFID. You are moving yourself and your family wants to know where you are moving. RFID. So these, what we see over here, are pillars, are elements which will affect every walk of life, not just logistics alone. Now, if you get into detail, if you look at the slide of World Trade Organization, and if we need to, as an economy, come back, one thing they talk about is you got to be having a flexible supply chain. Putting it in very, very simple words, you can no more rely upon goods or raw material or anything else to move from one end of the world to another end of the world for a product to be completed. Different programs are being initiated in different parts of the world in different countries. China a little ahead, and they were far ahead long ago. You got to be self-reliant. You can't wait for, supposing if a vehicle is there, a car is there, it's got about 4,000 parts. And if you're going to depend upon 36 countries for these 4,000 parts, and at conditions like this, when there is going to be a ban on imports, ban on exports, ban on certain goods, borders are going to thick, people are not going to be allowed to move easily. Cost of moving it is going to become expensive. Cost of moving the goods are going to be expensive. When you say logistics and supply chain, it's simple. Moving people and movement of people and movement of goods. And that has to happen in every possible way for anything. Even if you're talking about this particular meeting which you are having, it ended up the same. There was someone who were not able to start on time. There was someone who was not able to be made available on time. There's someone had something else to be doing on time. Flexibility is the name of the game. You have to have a flexible supply chain for manufacturing everything. So in short, the sessions which we have, and not the sessions which we have, anything which you're going to be talking about in future of logistics, supply chain, warehousing, whatever, needs to have these factors in mind, and that's how a course needs to be done, and that is how a course needs to be also defined, because that's what the industry wants. what we did all these days to reach where we were or where we are is not going to help us move one more day. Who said this? I do not know, but that's the place where we are in at this given moment. I'm not going to flip through all the slides. That's not the idea of it. But one thing which I wanted to talk about is yes, as was mentioned before, someone said this. Okay, what should we do at this kind or this kind of a time when everything is stopped, economy has come to a grinding halt, jobs are not available. Someone said print more money and build more roads. And that someone is a great economist who talks about long-term debt cycles. It's a fact. This is the time to work on your infrastructure. You need more cash. Yes, print more cash. It's not just said like that. Yes, you got to make the government or the RBI needs to make get cash available. But the other part is you got to have good roads for the simple reason. Then you will be able to have a better infrastructure. Then you will be able to get your movement of goods and movement of people happening in a much more efficient way, and that would probably kickstart your economy. So logistics is going to play a huge role without any doubt. And I've been hearing this for the last 30 years. The last 30 years, be it the government, be it the industrialists, be it the capitalists, be it all those investors, we need to improve our logistics, we need to improve our logistics, we need to improve our logistics. Globally, there was something which was formed called as a Logistics Performance Index somewhere around 2007. We are standing 44th. As rightly said, Germany stands number one. A lot of European countries won. Simple. The reason is nothing else. They had good roads right from the beginning. China moved in the last 15 years. They did nothing, but just got into good roads. So yeah, I'm not going to get into details of what it is, but key pointers. This I didn't say it, and this is not done by CMSDI also. This is what World Bank said. World Bank says the three major challenges which we have are this shortage of skills. When you say labor and skill, it's a skilled labor, unskilled labor. We have enough people in this country, but do they have the right set of skills for aiding this? I'm not sure. Environmentally friendly logistics. Slowly, I think nature, or not slowly, I think nature has really given us a big blow to understand that yes, it needs to be respected. I don't want to be talking about specific to any country, but we as a country had not done it as good as what many countries do. So probably yes, logistics too needs to get a little more friendly with the environment. And resilience to cyber threats, huge. This started happening. We have been all talking about threat in our health, threat to our economy, threat to the money, but we have not talked about or the time. It's time we all be ready for it. There's a huge cyber threat which is coming in because when there's a huge amount of shortage, there's a lot of manpower available, there's a lot of skilled manpower available, not enough jobs are available, money is not there. Technology has improved, a lot of cyber products made available, people are at home, a lot of time available, virtual reality is coming in, virtual modes of checking into bank accounts, virtual modes of checking into anything financial, bound to happen. You will have a lot of cyber threats too. So these are the three trends which uh, has been envisaged by the World Bank also. So the first two are one which we need to certainly look at, and I think all of us over here are exactly in line with this. We are working on skills, and we are also trying to work on some environmentally friendly way of moving goods, people, storing them. And yes, every time when I say logistics, I'll always include people as well as. So logistics is about both people and goods, not just goods alone. I'm not going to go through all the slides. That's not the idea, and that's not required also. If with this much, we got a brief look into where we are going and what is it we need to be as a student, as a person who is sharing knowledge, as an institute who is providing that to the students. I think we are on the right path. I'm going to leave it open for anybody who has got any questions, in particularly the students who had been wondering, whatever it could be of any kind. It doesn't matter, pertaining to the subject, not pertaining to the subject. I request you all to put your hand up, ask me the toughest questions possible. That's the best way to go about, and ask everyone questions. There's no point in just keeping quiet and listening. I'm going to stop here, and I'm opening it for, with the permission from the rest of the panel, students speak up. No one has any questions. Everybody is fine. Everybody is happy doing their courses online. Everybody is healthy, safe.
Satya,
Please go ahead.
if I may suggest, because there are two more speakers who are there online,
Yep.
if we can have a question answer session with the students after the two speakers, eminent speakers complete, is that okay?
Perfectly fine with me. I finished it in 13 minutes. 2 more minutes. I thought I will keep it open. Go ahead. I'm done.
Oh, great, great. No problem. No problem. Any questions with the guys? You can quickly shoot. Otherwise, you have a session with Satya at the end of the session to ask all the questions that you need to ask. Monica, can we move forward?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Thank you so much, Satya.
Thanks a lot, Bernard.
Uh, Thank you, sir, for giving a brief enlightenment on topics of Industry 4.0, data science, changing economics, cybersecurity, virtual reality, and how it impacts the logistics and supply chain industry with a view of all the industry and how the industry is going to work in the future period. Thank you so much for this, sir. Now, I would like to invite our second industrial speaker of the day, Mr. Raja Raman, NR, Senior Logistics and Supply Chain Professional. He is seasoned and accomplished supply chain management professional with a successful career graph of 20 years of diversified experience in strategic business planning, supply chain operations, logistics and distribution management, strategic sourcing, and imports and exports operations. His education qualifications are MBA in Business Management, Basis of Supply Chain Management from APICS USA, Certified Logistics, Transportation and Distribution from APICS USA, Certified Purchase Supply Chain Management from ISN USA, Certified in Transportation and Logistics from ASTL USA, Certified in Executive Development Program in Leadership and Change Management from XLRI, Certified Life Coach from ICH, specialized in career coaching. He is expert in concepts of supply chain management, logistics management, operations management, service delivery operations, operation strategy, exam management and documentation, international trade and logistics, sourcing, warehousing, and distribution. It's a great honor to have you on board, sir. Welcome you once again to give your speech.
Thank you, Monica. Thanks a lot, and thanks to everyone, and especially to Mr. Bernard for investing interest on me and sent out an invite, and also feel so privileged to be part of this session, as I could see a lot of eminent speakers. So I really feel humbled to be part of this. Okay, I'm not going to take much of time because I just wanted to give a small brief about myself and how I'm connected on this visiting faculty thing. So I still work with a pharmaceutical company, one of the pharma company I work with, and I manage global supply operations. And this visiting faculty is something that I started doing since 2013. That's when I was completing my some of the certifications. As part of validating those certifications, I started doing the teaching, and I really felt content when doing this teaching because I had an opportunity to engage with the current generation, and it was a great way to connect with them, and I really enjoy that energy and good conversation. So since then I started doing it, and I really love doing this because one way is about it helps me to keep the knowledge intact. The second thing is about sharing KT, knowledge transfer to the generation who really deserve that now. So that was one of the objective, and I really enjoy doing that, and I'm very happy to be taking some of the subjects for the student. That is one. And secondly, I was just going through the course content, and I must say kudos to CMSDA, because the way in which the content has been created, it's not that I'm saying it for the sake of saying it, because since I come from the industry, what is needed is something that is essentially covered. If you look at, I'm not given my career trajectory here, but I have traveled. I'm basically a BSc chemistry graduate and joined an airline industry, cargo industry, and I was in the airport operations where I was managing customs and local handling agent representing a foreign carrier, and then I joined UPS Supply Chain Solutions in the Middle East for some years, and then I came back to Chennai, and I was with Damco Logistics, DHL. With DHL I was managing the operations for South. So I had traveled from logistics and now into a manufacturing sector. So I could really I could really see what we really need and what needs to be covered as part of preparing the new generation with the employability skills on logistics. So I think considering that fact, I see the content has been well neatly done, because the essential elements are covered: transportation and warehousing, distribution, which is also taking extreme prominence, and thirdly, the process management. Six Sigma is something very essential for this service industry, because logistics is one of the one of the critical element in terms of service and as well as cost. If it is not carefully configured, so we will burn our fingers. So looking at that, I see the content is well crafted, and so it's going to be a really good session, and I think we will also be supplementing some case studies to engage the students and understand from the scenario perspective, and trigger their thought process, so that it would really help them to understand and then apply whatever they learn through this program. So once again, I thank everyone for this opportunity, and I feel really humbled to be part of this program. And I thank Bernard again for giving me this opportunity. And I wish all the students a very best of luck. And I must tell you guys, you have taken a right, right industry, because logistics was one of the critical thing that was really supporting during this pandemic. Since I'm part of the pharmaceutical manufacturing company, and I'm engaged in the global supply operations, I know how much we had to go above and beyond to get things and reach products to the patient, needy patient. So certainly logistics play critical, and that really determines the success of any company, because they are the one who really reach the product at the time that is required. So certainly logistics play a critical role. So you guys have taken a wise decision, specializing this. This is something evolving, and there is a real need of skill set on this, and I think this particular program would really meet that requirement. That's it from my side. Thanks again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for those motivation words and your validation for the course and the content of the course from an industrial standard. It means a lot to every one of us involved in this. And also, thank you so much for sharing your experience in the logistics industry and how logistics industry is a critical industry in this pandemic situation. It was very inspiring speech. Thank you once again, sir.
Thanks, Monica.
Now, yes, sir. Now, I would like to invite our next industrial speaker of the day, Mr. Debashis Mukherjee, Senior LSE Professional. Mr. Debashis Mukherjee has a Bachelor in Economics and a Master in Business Management from Calcutta University. He worked with various corporates for 27 years out of a professional career spanning 31 years. He attended several business events in India, Malaysia, UAE, and Thailand, engaged as a consultant and visiting faculty since 2015. He participated as speakers in webinars and seminars conducted by APSSDC Krishnapatnam Port, GCM Worldwide, Make Intent, FAPCCI, and FPCCI. I would like to welcome Mr. Debashi Mukherjee to give a speech on logistics and supply chain industry. Welcome, sir.
Sir, you're on mute.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So am I audible now? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you, Monica, for that wonderful introduction.
Thank you,
And to start with, I would definitely thank Bernard on behalf of CMSDI for this invite. I'm sorry I could log in late because of this perennial network issues, connectivity issues. And also, of course, the management, the Dean Director of St. Peter's. As my previous speaker has just said, and in fact, after two back-to-back wonderful, sessions of 15 minutes or whatever each, I don't have much to say. Okay, so I've spent in this industry for about 28 to 30 years, but I'm still learning this subject. Okay, I'm still a student. I'm neither a trainer nor a faculty or whatever, and I intend to stay a student for the rest of my life, because this is one industry which is evolving. It has been evolving, and technology has made it disruptive altogether. As Mr. Rajaram just said, that it is really encouraging to see that the students are taking interest in this particular subject, that is logistics and supply chain management. Of course, supply chain management I would consider a bit advanced topic to discuss. It all starts with logistics, and eventually you will understand the difference between logistics, supply chain, and operations. This is not the session to explain you that. You have, your course or your sessions in the future, which will actually tell you the difference. Now, coming back to saying that this was not the same. Even a decade back, logistics and supply chain was definitely not a very, a subject which was easily acceptable by the students, but it does now. Now, when we look around and we see the developed countries, I said developed countries, not the developing countries. When you see the developed countries like Germany, as Mr. Satya has just mentioned very rightly, Germany is probably #1 in terms of performance is concerned. So when you look around the developed countries like the US, Germany, France, coming to Asia in Singapore or Korea, Japan, Australia, everywhere. If you have to see the logistics is the logistics sector is very and significantly, has an impact on the economy as a whole. Logistics management, supply chain management has always been important for the country, has always been important for the economy. But this pandemic has shown us how significant, how important it is. We were all worried about our essentials not being delivered to us on time, our medicines not being delivered to us on time, our food supplies getting affected, grocery shops not opening. Now, when we talk of logistics, we will not restrict ourselves to Chennai or to Hyderabad or between Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, etc. Today we are talking of global logistics. There are companies, the reputed companies, they run their business based on global supplies. They either procure materials from overseas countries or they distribute and sell their products to the overseas countries. So this kind of pandemic has a serious effect on the logistics network. Transportations were not moving. The vessels were waiting at the ports. Of course, railways came to some kind of a help, but overall, the logistics network took a serious hit. And we all saw how it affected the economy as a whole. Now we all understand today, right from the ministers to the Panipuri wala, they are all talking of logistics and supply chain management. You all observe. You open the network, you open the TV channels, everybody is speaking of supply chain management. Everybody is speaking of logistics.
Yes.
Right? So this is what we are to.
Yes.
Excuse me.
No, sorry.
Now, if you look back and if you see the GDP, which is an indicator for the development of a country, if you go back about 2 decades, think of 2000. Currently, our GDP is just probably lesser than about $3 trillion. Okay. Now, if you see our GDP in 2000, it was even less than $1 trillion. So in 20 years of time, I'm not saying that that is a massive jump, okay, but we have grown significantly. And when you grow, your business will become more and more complicated. And that's the time when you need a very, very strong logistics network to support your business. There is a number which is moving around in moving around the system and everywhere, that our logistics costs are extremely high, and that's true as well. It is said that our logistics cost consume about 14 to 15% of our GDP. To make it simple, out of every 100 rupees that we earn, 14 rupees or 14 to 15 rupees is consumed by the logistics network. How true it is, there is a lot of debate going on, but trust me, I started my discussion with the developed countries like the Germany, the France, US, and Korea, and Japan, and Singapore, etc. Their logistics cost is as low as 6 to 7%. So you see the margin, you see the gap. You see the gap between them and us. Just think of this 7 to 8% of the GDP, how much it amounts to. It's a huge amount of money that we are losing just because our logistics network is not efficient enough. Our system is not efficient. Our skill levels are not up to the standard. So there's a lot of things to be done, and that's the reason our country needs more and more logistics professionals. And I echo what Mr. Rajaram has just said. I congratulate you. In fact, I am associated with quite a few business schools in India, and primarily in the state of Telangana, as a visiting faculty or as a guest faculty or whatever it is. I see there is a trend. There is a trend to accept logistics and supply chain. Of course, today supply chain management is a core subject in all the MBA programs. And trust me, the Geetam University or any other colleges that I am in, earlier it used to be only, and mind you, marketing, finance, HR, they are still very, very important. But earlier electives were restricted only to marketing, HR, and finance primarily. Today, I see in my university where, marketing, and they all have almost equal numbers of students. So if I have 30 students, if there are about 120 students in a particular batch, at least 40 students opt for logistics and supply chain or operations and supply chain management. I do not want to confuse you with the concept of logistics supply chain. At this point of time, when you ask what logistics is all about, I don't expect you to know, because as I said, in 30 years I have not understood. So I don't expect you to understand logistics in 15 minutes. It will take lifetime for you to understand this concept of supply chain management. But coming back, as I said, we have understood country needs logistics professionals. Country needs supply chain professionals. We need them big time. Risk in supply chain has always been there. And risk will continue to happen, as very rightly said by Mr. Satya. Even this pandemic goes, our life will change forever. Our way of doing business will change forever. Our export-import process will change forever. Okay, so there will be a lot of opportunity. And as I said, I do not have much to share right now. The only few things that I have learned for you, just a small piece of advice. As I said, you will learn a lot in your classroom, through your textbook, through your case studies. There are something called 10 P's. P for people. There are 10 P's, which is extremely important. Now, I come from the grassroots level. Mr. Rajaram has just mentioned that he worked for DHL, and I worked with one of their most closest competitor called TNT. And I literally, you see the courier companies coming or the e-commerce companies. This is another sector which has completely changed the face of the of logistics and supply chain, the way they operate, and that is the e-commerce sector. Completely changed. We never thought if I had told my father that we are buying vegetables, of course he's no more, because if he ever hears that I buy vegetables and fish online, he would have like, my God, is this also possible? Okay. Have ladies ever thought that they are going to buy dress materials and sari online or jewelries online? So it's changing, which we never thought is going to happen, has happened today. So it's going to change. And that's the reason I said logistics cannot be learned in a day. Don't try to understand logistics. Keep learning because it is evolving. So coming back to some very, very basic tips, okay, because as I said, students, this is primarily I'm addressing the students, of course. I'm a student like you. So a very simple tip of 10 P's that you should always remember if you want to build your career in the logistics and supply chain network. First, you need to be very, very proactive. Stay one step ahead of the situation. Be ready for what is coming. You have to have a foresight. So you need to be persistent. You need to probe. In logistics, you will do enormous amount of mistakes. Despite all that precautions that you take, there are possibilities of making mistakes. Because logistics, at this basic level, for you to understand, is basically movement. And that's the reason I said, what is economics all about? There's a buyer, a seller in a very simple term. Somebody is buying, somebody is selling, and when you buy or sell, some commodity, raw materials, finished product has to move from the seller to the buyer. And logistics management takes care of that. So it is road transportation, railways, air freight. When it's global movement, it will be sea freight, etc., etc., etc. So when there is a movement, you will know that you will expect some kind of disruptions here. So you need to be perfect in your work. You need to probe. So you need to be persistent as well. Don't leave it halfway. One more encouraging advice I want to give you. This is one sector where efficient logistics manager almost become indispensable. I have seen it in my lifetime. Without trying to, demean or even trying to, reduce any kind of significance or importance of other roles in HR, marketing, etc. I know what is the importance of a very skilled operations manager. I wouldn't like to let him go, not at all. So that's the kind of, so be prepared if you want to take logistics or supply chain. Be prepared to sacrifice your first 5 years on an average. Sacrifice the comfort, sacrifice the aram that you get, sacrifice everything, and the rest of your life will be almost smooth sailing. I don't have to speak much. As I said, the two speakers before me has given you such important and some very, very useful and meaningful information. I would like to end this session on a lighter note to tell you how important this particular sector is, logistics and supply chain. I'm sure we all have seen this movie called Three Idiots, right? And I give this example to all my students, let me tell you. Three Idiots is one movie that we have all seen. Can one of our students can unmute and at least confirm so that I know that I'm speaking to somebody who are alive and not fallen asleep, because it is 4:30. You're preparing for your cup of tea or coffee. Can you please say whether you have seen this movie? Okay, even you have seen or not, let me tell you, there is a message at the very end of the movie which says, काबिल बनो, कामयाबी आपके पीछे भागेगी. What is काबिल? You make yourself efficient. You enhance your skills. And what is kamyabi is success. Don't worry. Success will run after you. Success comes, there are the various indicators of success. Your position, you're having a car, you're having a villa, you're going for overseas and all that stuff. Okay? So that will happen, don't worry. This is the time when you have to enhance. And with responsibility, I repeat, with responsibility, let me tell you, don't study. Surprised? Don't study. Instead, learn the subject. Study will give you information which is short. Information comes and goes. Learning gives you knowledge. knowledge will stay with you forever. If you want to accept, if you want to, if you have decided the logistics and supply chain, assuming that you have decided to take logistics management as your elective, so I'm sure you would like to learn this subject more and more, and you definitely intend to take make logistics as your career, supply chain as a career. Please learn the subject. Don't study. We all study to get grades and marks for exams that are going to happen. Learning automatically takes care of your studies. Learning makes your concept clear. And when you start working for an organization, your knowledge will come to your help, not the information. Information after some time will get diluted, but knowledge will stay with you forever. With that, I again thank Bernard once again for this invite. I look forward to further collaborations in future. I also once again thank the Dean, Director and the management of St. Peter's Institute of Higher Education in Chennai. I'm hopeful, I'm ever optimistic, and if you'll see, logistics professionals are ever optimistic. I'm sure Satya and Mr. Raja Ram will accept. We have no choice than being optimistic about it. So I'm optimistic. I'm sure the pandemic has come. It stayed with us for a month. Probably it's going to stay here for another 2 or 3 months. We never know. But things will get normal, and probably we'll have an opportunity. I am from Hyderabad. I currently reside in Hyderabad. I stay in Hyderabad. I'm sure we'll have an opportunity where we can all meet, not on a virtual platform. And as Satya said, that definitely we probably would meet in a classroom or in a seminar hall, in a meeting, discussion, workshop, whatever it is, that's immaterial. And we discuss more and more about this beautiful subject of logistics management. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for an inspiration speech and the enlightenment about the logistics industry from the global perspective and how the pandemic affects the logistics industry and the impact of that on the economy with respect to cost and the trends of the course and the future of the career in logistics industry. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to
Thank you,
quote
Monica.
words of yes, sir. I would like to quote the words of Mandy Hills. There is nothing beautiful than someone who goes out of their way to make life beautiful for others. Who goes out of their way to make life beautiful for others. Now, I would like to invite our next speaker of the day, Mr. Bahalchan Pandey. Bahalchan Pandey has over 22 years of experience in business operation, regional management, business development, category management, and overall business strategy. He has received his MBA marketing from Pune University. He worked with large MNCs like Colgate, Reliance Retail, etc. His area of specialization is people management, business innovation, P&L management, execution, ground level customer acquisition, and business networking. His vast experience over the years in various geographies and business categories has been the genes of his general management capabilities, having worked in both B2B and B2C focused business environment. He is the author of short story published in international short story collections like the Chicken Soup series. Uh, I would once again like to welcome you for giving your speech, sir. Welcome again, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Monica. Am I audible? First of all, I just wanted to check that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. So thanks a lot for inviting me and introducing me, and thanks, Mr. George Bernard, and all the eminent speakers who have enlightened us in this extremely exciting space of logistics management. It is 4:45 in the evening, and I'm sure most of you uh, would like to have a real life scenario experience, which I would like to share with all of you at this point in time. Imagine yourself walking into a mall or into a supermarket, picking up either a soap or a toothpaste, and then subsequently checking it out at your billing counter, paying off the cashier, and then moving out of the stores. It's a real-time data which gets captured into the cashier system, which flows through into the warehouse management system, which all these retailers maintain, and subsequently the triggers are then subsequently shared with the category management and also to the vendors who supply these articles. So fundamentally, this is as we call it is a PBMS cycle: plan, buy, move, and sales. So the terminology or the jargon may look intimidating. To make life simple, all of you have been buying vegetables from your roadside vendors. So do you know that the farmers who actually produce these vegetables are paid in a minuscule amount compared to what actually you pay into when you buy it into the retail and take it to your home. For instance, I reside in a place like Pune, and where a farmer sells his onions at the rate of 3 rupees, but when it comes to the shelves or when it is sold to the consumer, the eventual cost of that onion becomes 30 rupees. There are two reasons. There are a lot of mediators, first of all, into the entire system. And secondly, produce like agriculture has got a huge process loss. Just to give you, share the perspective what process loss is all about. India as a country loses 75,000 crore rupees per annum just by processing loss of this warehousing, inadequate warehousing facilities which we don't have, as we don't have the cold chain facilities as well conventional warehousing facilities. And apart from that, there are around 194 million people who go hungry every day. So it's 19.4 crores people are hungry because they don't get the food stuff. So that's a lopsided affair. So one side we say that there are people who go hungry, and one side we say that there are people, there are produce is available, but since it is not reaching to the real consumer, primarily because of there is no support which is available through logistics. So I first of all congratulate all of you to be into an exciting field of logistics, because logistics encompasses all the sectors which you work on. It's a backbone of the industry, irrespective whether it is FMCG or manufacturing or pharmaceutical, whichever industry you work for, logistics forms a very integral part. In some cases which are like manufacturing industries, the cost of logistics may be around 7 to 8%. However, people like us, those who have been into retail, we know the cost of logistics around 20 to 25%, which is extremely huge and extremely vital for the sustenance of the entire industry. And the joy of working in logistics is when you are able to reach out to the customer and create the delight in his or her home pertaining to your efforts, giving the supplies to your consumers on time, and creating the supply chain in an efficient manner. So of course the industry has got certain yardsticks like the inventory turns, which are typically ascertained 52 inventory turns, which is a normal benchmark globally, which is look forward to be in adherence to. So basically what that means is that you need to rotate your inventory in such a manner that you don't hold the unsellable inventory more, and replenishment happens on real time basis. So for that, your agreements pertaining to vendors, your logistics management pertaining to truck management, as well as your forecasting ability of the consumer demand and supply has to be attuned with all your supplies which you are keeping. So it's a huge field, it's an exciting field, and I'm really glad that there are industry eminents who has been integrated into this program. And I wish all the students extremely well and a joyful journey in the future. So I just want to leave my short note over here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that speech of logistics industry, how it is related to every other industry with respect to retail industry. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Ajit Kishore Das. Ajit Kishore Das, currently the principal consultant of Franklin Conway South Asia, is a successful author and founder of the Lever Learning and Development Consultancy. He is also facilitating programs like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, 7 Habits for Managers, 7 Habits for Associates, 7 Habits Foundation, and many more. He worked with top corporates like Xerox, Wipro, and he also has a certificate LIFO practitioner and coach. Through LIFO, he helps individuals discover and build their strength. With great pleasure, I would like to welcome Mr. Ajit Kishore Das to give a speech. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon to everybody. Now, everybody is looking very serious. Now, we've had almost 1.5 hours of total download on you guys, so I don't think it's even fair for me to say anything more. To at least I can see you guys smiling. Come on, who else is there? Yeah, let's see the smiles on your faces. Bharani, Dharan, yeah, Vidya, Yamini. Yeah, it's good to see you smiling. Yeah, Praveen, smile a little bit more. Now everybody is looking so serious. No, this course is not all that serious because life is never serious in my opinion. Okay. So I won't bore you on anything about logistics and stuff like that, but I'll just tell you one thing that, whatever journey you're going to be undertaking, yeah, it's most important for you all. And you got to enjoy this. And like Debashis was saying that, while you enjoy this, then you can learn. Otherwise, if it's just mugging and a sort of a percentage mark of what you get in your, certificate has not too much meaning. The way you use whatever you learn in the life that you're going to go forward and live every day of your lives, use that learnings and keep learning throughout every day so that you can actually enjoy this subject matter more. When you enjoy it, then you learn a lot. If you're just doing it for the sake of a certificate, you'll be wasting your time. See, the thing is, life, you never know what's going to happen. Enjoy it. I live it like that, if you see my WhatsApp thing, what does it say, George? Life goes on, right? Life just goes on. And whether you are, with this kind of face or whether with a smiling face, and whether you work hard or you don't work hard, nobody really cares as long as the results are what is most important. And while you're getting those results, you're learning, you're enjoying the journey, you're teaching others while you're learning. It's a sort of a whole ecosystem, yeah, which you have to create around you, which will help you thrive and enjoy life. Yeah, and I wish you all the best on this journey. I'm sure Bernard and the esteemed panel that is there and every other professor who's going to be there with you. Satya shared something about whatever AI and information about the industry. Debashis shared, Mr. Pedne shared, your dean shared. Everybody is sharing something which is going to help you. My only wish to all of you is I wish you all the best on this new journey that you're going to undertake, and undertake this journey with a smile. Thank you very much for having me here with you all. Enjoy yourselves. Thanks a lot, Bernard, for giving me this opportunity. All the best, guys and girls.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the wishes and the motivation speech. The way you started was very fun and lovely. It was very energy boosting. Thank you once again for this wonderful speech, sir.
Welcome.
So next is yes. So it's a great pleasure that Mr. Pradeep is a part of our program. He's a civil engineer whose career has an experience of 13 years in the field of logistics. Now working as a global manager for logistics operations for India, Australia, and Indonesia. The work experience all started from the forwarding side and now serving the client side. The total experience of 13 years has been the forwarding on both air and ocean, also carries sales experience, worked along with airport to understand the airport operations, and now currently handling with the temperature control pharma shipments. So it's a great pleasure to have you on board, sir. Welcome once again. And I think, and I hand over to Bernard, sir, to give the conclude speech.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you so much. And first of all, I thank
you, sir.
everybody who had taken their time and stayed in the session and understood what exactly that we are looking at doing here in this program. And most of all, I would like to thank all the eminent speakers who had taken time from Mumbai, from Hyderabad, from Chennai, and even from Bangalore, and enlightened all our students and what this is all about. And looking forward to working with you guys, all the young students who are there in the class. And I'm very keen on being a part of your personal growth, and see to that we are a part and parcel of your career growth also. So thank you once again, and I would like to hand over the session to Madam Uma Madam, Dr. Uma Madam, to conclude the whole session.
Thank you, Bernard, sir. At the outset, it gives me immense pleasure to thank everybody who had been amongst us today to motivate, to share their experience with our students. I wholeheartedly thank our Vice Chancellor, our registrar, our dean, who had found time amid the busy schedule, keeping an insight, and I see our VC sir and dean still there in the program. I thank all the resource speakers from across the country who have squeezed the time to be with the students today, to give the glimpse of what they wanted to learn and how they are going to get it done in the future days. I also thank and wish CMSDI, Bernard sir and Emmanuel sir for giving us such an opportunity and for our students to learn something new apart from the routine style, and hope this journey will continue forever. The agenda is set for the students. We have given the best and we are giving the best. It is you who has to put the tremendous interest and the efforts to scale up. We hope our students would live up to the expectations of the university and the institute and learn and acquire more knowledge, which would be a win-win situation for all. With this, I wish all my students a great start and good luck, and hope to see you successfully placed in any corner of the world so that the St. Peter's flag flies high. I once again offer my sincere pranams and thanks to all the esteemed resource speakers who have made it for the day, and also thank my team of faculty who had been a constant source of support and inspiration throughout this journey of talking out this plan of offering logistics as an elective. I also appreciate and thank the management, our trustee, Madam Dr. Lasya, who had been the person behind this initiative, who had given us permission to go ahead with what all plans we have for the benefit of our students. I once again thank one and all. For students, the classes will start from tomorrow. I request you all to be on time. Attendance will be monitored on a day-to-day basis, and hope to see you tomorrow to start a new journey. Thank you, one and all. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again. Have a wonderful evening. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Bernard sir, could we have a photograph of all, if they could be there? Is it
Oh, yeah,
possible?
why not? Why don't you do that? Please ask them to see if you can come.
If at all they could have their video on, all of them are there, you could have a click, so that would be really great.
Yeah, why not? Please, madam. Why don't you ask everybody to come on the screen? Sirs and students, please, if you can kindly come on the screen.
Because the VC star is still available. I know that he had a couple of meetings also, but still he found the time to be there with us today till the end of the session.
Oh.
And it's a good opportunity for all of us to have a photo taken.
Yeah. Please.
Ma'am, sorry to interact. Your face is not visible, ma'am. Ma'am.
Ma'am, your video,
Fine?
yeah.
Good, ma'am.
Yeah. Mahesh, can you take a picture for all of us covering everybody? Is it possible?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Sir Dean, sir, your video, please, sir. VC, sir, I request you to switch on your video, sir.
Taken, ma'am.
And
Thank
my
you.
team of faculty for their with for all their support. I request everybody to have your video on so that we could take some pictures. It gives us a great memory that we have started today. We will definitely live up to the expectations of the institute and the partnership associates, and our students have a great success. Manoj, Mahesh, once it's done, please inform, because I don't want the dignitaries to wait unnecessarily.
Can I, ma'am?
Yeah, please.
It's done, ma'am.
Done with everybody covered?
Yeah. Ma'am.
Thank you, Bernard sir. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all the time. Ajit Dada, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for.
So thank you, VC sir, and thank you, Dean sir, and thank you, Bernard sir and Emmanuel sir. and all the resource speakers who had been with us today for making this happen today. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Objection.